Hey, this is Russ. Welcome to the second Magicycle review. Yeah, I'm going to do a follow-up on the review that I did on the bike a couple weeks ago. If you haven't seen that particular video, I'll put a link so that you can see it. But watch that video first and then watch this one, all right? Just come on back. All right, let me show you the bike real quick here. Yeah. So, yeah, I've made some changes to the bike. This is not the stock Magicycle bike anymore. I'll give you an overview first. So you notice I have some accessories that have been put onto the bike. I've changed some things too. So let me go through those things first, and then we'll talk about the things I've learned since I've had the bike. So let's start in the front here. Now you notice there is a front basket now. This was sent to me courtesy of Magicycle. I actually had to ask them for it because I usually store my digital audio recorder right up here in the corner. It's on my body right now, so I can do this recording. So yeah, I needed the basket. I'm very used to having a basket. And then you might notice too that I added a bottle cage here. Now, most people might put it over here because this is the standard area where you might put a bottle. But I felt that the distance from the saddle to here would be taking up too much space, and I preferred to have that open. So what I did, I got just a standard bottle holder. I mean, you can buy these anywhere, and I attached it to the basket. And the way I did it is I just used I'm sorry, not twist ties. Zip ties. Yeah, zip ties are your friend. So I just zip tied it to the basket, and that works out really well. So I put it on the left side so I can still utilize my throttle and then grab the bottle when I need to. I also got a rear view mirror. They gave me, actually it comes with two. These are Magicycle's mirrors, so you can order it directly on their website. And again, this supplied to me directly from them. I only put one on because there's not a lot of space really to put the second one on, but they do give you a left and a right. I just used the left. I kind of feel that the mirrors are really necessities because it really gives you a better view of what's coming up from behind. And here in the United States, we ride on the right side of the road, so we want to see the cars that are passing to our left. So the left is more important for us. You might notice too that I put on an accessory here. This is called a handlebar extension bar, because there's usually not a whole lot of space on the handlebars themselves to put things on, and I wanted to put a cell phone mount on it. So the cell phone mount, I'll swing around here, is mounted directly to this, okay? And again, you can get these things anywhere. All Amazon's has a lot of these type of extender bars available, so easy. And then of course, you know, phone mounts. Now, as far as the throttle, I made a slight change as well. I added this. This is a 3D printed throttle, thumb throttle, okay? And I kind of like using that. I'm very used to using the thumb throttles. So what I did is I had this printed up at my local library, and then I mounted this. Very inexpensive to get one of these things if you have it 3D printed. The library charged me for two of these things. They charged me 55 cents. The screw and the nut cost me more than the actual accessory that I had printed up from them. They only charge you for the materials. They don't charge you for the time to do it. But I think it takes about an hour to do. So anyways, that's what's up in front. Now in the back here, you might notice that I changed the saddle. Now I do like the Magicycle saddle. Yeah, it's actually a nicer one than many companies give. And I felt it was very comfortable, but because I was gonna do a bunch of riding between that first review and this review, I didn't want the feel of the bike to be different than the bike that I already had, because I didn't want to say that, you know, I don't like this because it feels funny. So what I did is I changed it to the same saddle I had on the other bike that I own. This way, both bikes have the exact same saddle. Then I can say that, you know, anything that I feel that's different has nothing to do with the saddle, all right? It has everything to do with the bike. So that's why I made the change. And I kind of like this particular one because it has a shorter nose. They call this the nose, and that gives you a little bit more clearance here as well. The bag was also supplied to me by Magicycle. I asked them for their rear bag. Now, you might notice I added some additional bungee cords. Magicycle actually gives you bungee cords here, but these are very, very tight. So I don't think they're really designed to hold a bag, but it's more designed to hold something like if you had a tripod or something, you can use these things to mount it. So I bought some additional bungee cords, and these are very, very short bungee cords. You see, it's not very long, and it works really good to secure the bag a little bit better. Let me put this up in front here. So let me show you this bag. I kind of wanted a bag because I carry all of my tools and everything with me. My keys. Let me just slide this under here. So my keys. I'm just gonna move these things to the front basket. My tools. So wrenches, hex drivers, all that type of stuff. I put it in a bag. This way I can move it from bike to bike. I have a spare inner tube. Move it again. Another wrench. Other places call these spanners. We call it wrenches here. I have a portable air pump. Let's move this out of the way. Hard to do with just one hand. This is why I like a basket. All right, you can move things a lot easier. This is the extension cord that was given for the front light, but I didn't need it. I just left it where it was. I have some tire levers in case I have to change the tire, and I have the Magicycle included tool bag, which comes in handy too. So I have a lot of tools. I keep a lot of tools with me. I want to show you this bag though. It's kind of cool. So now, you know, on my other bike I have panniers. Well, this turns into a pannier. If you flip this down and unfold this, you got a side pannier there. You can do the same thing on the other side, obviously. Same thing here. All you need to do is pull this down. Now you've got more storage. Even the top expands out. If you unzip this gets taller. So very smart bag. Yeah, I like it a lot. So easy to carry around. I can take it off very easily. It's mounted on there with Velcro. So to put everything back together, of course, all you have to do is zip this top one back up, fold this back in, which is a little hard by one hand. And I'm not going to be able to do it and hold the camera at the same time. Fold it back in and zip it back up on both sides. Okay, you get the idea. So what do I want to talk about today? Well, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the menu system that's on the bike. Now I'm out here in pretty bright sun. My intention was to do this review outdoors, but I think it might be hard to see the display the way I want to show it to you. So I think what I'll do is I'll bring it back indoors and show you how I program the menu. Now the menu is actually the easiest menu I've ever seen. Programming is the easiest I've ever seen. Yeah, I really like it. Okay, let me show you what the display screen looks like now that we're indoors again. I'm going to turn on the bike and it'll go through its little intro screen. It says Magicycle. And now all the information shows up from the last time you've ridden because I haven't cleared anything. So if you look down here, it shows a trip meter. It tells you that I've been riding 27 miles since the last time I cleared the trip meter. This trip meter stays there unless you clear it in the menu, which is nice. Some bikes, when you turn off the bike, that thing automatically wipes out your trip meter. So if you took a break and didn't ride for, say, 5 minutes or so, you might notice that your trip meter is back down to 0. Not so with the Magicycle. Unless you clear it, it stays there. Okay, so 27 miles. I hit the I button, which is on the pedal assist controller on your left-hand side, and that'll toggle through it. So here it shows that my total mileage on the bike is 137 miles. That's the odometer. And my maximum speed that I rode on that trip was 25.5 miles per hour, but I averaged 10.1 miles per hour because I was doing some slow riding before. And this shows you how long it's been since I turned the bike on. So since we've been talking for about a minute, it shows a 1 minute time period there. And then we go back to the trip meter again. So the other information you have here is the pedal level assist. So if you toggle up and down, you change your pedal assist levels this way. And they give you 7 pedal assist levels when you first start. I modified mine to a 5 level. That's why we only see 1 through 5 on mine. Okay. Your speedometer is over here, so it gives you a graphical display of how fast you're going. It shows 0 through 30 here, and this will be in color when you're riding. And then in the middle, it shows you the miles per hour. So on the top, you have a remaining time of your battery. I have it set for percentage right now, so I have 80% left on my battery. And you can change that to voltage. It gives you the actual voltage that your battery is at. And over here, you have the clock. So it's 12:16 in the afternoon right now. All right, so I'm going to show you real quickly how I change all the functions in the bike. To do that, you hold the plus and minus button of your pedal assist controller. And when you do that, it goes into the advanced functions, okay? So there's a function here called wheel. That's when you change the wheel size. You're never going to change that because you're not changing your wheel size. And typically out of default, and again, if you hit the center button, which says I, that'll show you that the wheel size is at 28 inches. Now we do have 26-inch wheels, and you may be wondering why it's set for 28, and that's because of the outside rolling part of the wheel. So it should be set at 28. You don't want to mess with that. The next thing is your speed limit. Now if you go here, you can see that, and it always shows 25 because that's just an icon, okay? So no matter how you change this number here, okay, that always says 25. So that's just an icon. It's not the actual speed limit you have it set. It was set for 20 miles per hour because that is the legal limit for a Class 2 bike, but you can change that. You can go all the way up to 28 miles per hour, or you can make it lower, okay? So if you want, for instance, if you wanted to accept the 28 miles per hour, you would just hit the center button again. And now if I go back in one more time, you'll see it's already set now for the 28, okay? Brightness, that's just the brightness level of the screen. Really not a whole lot to say about that, just gets brighter or darker, all right? I usually put it on the full brightness because then I can see it better in the sunlight. You don't want to change the voltage. I'll show it to you. Whoops, sorry, let me go back. I'll show it to you anyways, but you don't want to change this thing. This thing should be sitting here at this 52 volt. And all you do is, rather than change it, just hit the center button, just get out of it altogether, okay? Leave it as it is. Okay, so let's take a look at the advanced functions. This is where you're gonna get all your good stuff. So let's go ahead and get in here, and you'll see that there's a lot of things in here. Now, certain things you're not gonna mess with, like the speed sensor, you wanna leave that at 1. These are just some things that the company needs to do for the things that are on the bike, but you don't wanna modify those. So leave that at 1. Same thing with the assist number. You want to leave that at 12, okay? But the power set, you can change your pedal assists here, okay? Now, I told you I had changed mine from 1 through 5, but initially you're going to get something, I think it's set for 1 to 7 or 0 to 7, something like that, so you get 7 levels of pedal assist. But here, I'll show you what I did here. I went to 1 through 5, not 0 through 5. So if you have 0 to 5, for instance, you will always have a 0 level, which means no assist. I never ride that way, so I left mine at 1 to 5. But again, you can change that now. If you hit the center button again, you see that I've changed my levels, and these are the levels that I have set. Now, these may or may not be the ones that you would like, but I have mine set for 25% for 1, 35% for 2, 45% for 3, 60% at 4, and 80% at 5. Okay, and again, you can toggle this to get through it, or you can just accept everything here and bring it back. Current limiting, I leave it at 15 amps. You don't want to raise this too high because then you're just going to eat up power. The default is the 15 amp. I suggest you leave it there. Okay. Sensitivity is how sensitive is your pedal assist, okay? I have it at 2, but you can change it to more or less, okay? And what this is when you start pedaling, how quickly is this thing going to start sensing the pedal is being moved, okay? If you have it at a level where it's so sensitive, then just touching your pedal is going to start up the assist, all right? This section here where it says slow start, let me move that down here. This is where you can actually tell the pedal assist to not start immediately. If you change this to say, one of these levels, 2 or 3, as you start pedaling, you won't feel the pedal level assist helping you at all. The assist will just basically wait a little bit and then it'll start helping you. But if you have it at 0, the minute you touch the pedal, it immediately starts assisting you in the pedal assist. I like sometimes to have it a little bit slower. I don't really like to immediately start right away. So let's leave it at 1 for now. You can change it the way you want. And this is where you hear on the SoC, the V, I have it at a percentage, but you can change this to voltage. So then when you're looking at the battery, you can know exactly what the voltage of the battery is. Most people probably leave it at the percentage. Here you can set the clock. This is pretty self-explanatory, right? It is 12:22. Let's drop it a little bit just so you can see that it was done. Let's say 12:20, and then you set it, and then your time will be set at 12:20. Hit back, and you're back to the advanced screen. Dormancy is when do you want the bike to actually shut down? So here it's set for 5 minutes. So if you don't touch the bike in 5 minutes, the power is going to shut down on it. Okay, you can change that to as high as 9 minutes or totally off, which means this thing will stay on until you turn it off. Okay, I typically like to have some type of dormancy because if you forget to shut your bike off, at least this will do it for you. We'll set it for 8. Units, United States, we're in imperial, but you can, let's go back. You can also change it to metric if you need to, but US is imperial. You can set a password as well, okay? I have not set a password on this bike, so I'm not gonna do it. But if you set a password, you better remember your password, okay? And here, if you hit factory, this is where you can restore it back to factory settings. So if you want to go back to the original level, you can hit restore, it'll bring it back. I'm gonna say no because I want to keep the levels I have. And then display is where you can reset the trip meters, okay? And again, yeah, let's reset it. Let's just do it. So from no, I'm gonna move it to yes, and it'll say clear, hit back. Let me get out of this altogether. Hit exit, it'll get out. Now if you take a look, our odometer stays at 137, but if we go toggling through, my maximum speed has dropped off, my average speed. The time is still 9 minutes because we've been playing with this for the last 9 minutes. And the trip meter has been set back to 0. So this is how you reset your trip. So that is the menu. It's pretty easy to do. Everything is just done right off of this. Let me move the camera here. It's just done off of this controller here. So all I was doing is moving up and down and hitting center buttons, okay? Anyways, let's go back in. I'll talk to you in a second. So what else did I find out about the Magicycle since I've been riding it for the last couple of weeks? Well, I wanted to do a range test. I think a lot of people want to find out how far can I really go on one battery, right? Well, these are 52 volt, 15 amp hour batteries. So you've got a little bit more get up and go, a little bit more pep out of this bike. And of course, if you run it hard, where you're throttling all the time or you're riding very fast and hard, you're going to eat into your range. So I decided to do it this way. What would be the typical riding I would do, not over throttling, okay, just pedaling at maybe an assist level of 2 or 3, something like that, based on my settings. And if I throttled at all, I wanted to keep that throttle at a wattage level that pedaling at 2 or 3 would give me. So I stayed within, I would say, between 250 to 300 watts of usage in terms of the power level, even when I throttled. So That's what helped me get through the entire time. I didn't stop. I literally just kind of kept going until that battery was exhausted to about a 12% level. So I didn't drop it down to zero. I felt that might not be really good for the battery. So I rode it until I got 12% of battery power left, and then I stopped at that point. So keep in mind, I am a 250 plus weight rider. So I'm a heavy rider. And overall, many people might ride at like level 1 or level 2, wherever they have their settings set for. So they might actually use less power. Now, if you use less power, you're going to get more range, of course. But that's not how I ride, all right? I wanted to see what would be my typical ride where I felt comfortable in terms of the speed I was riding at and based on my weight and everything. So what did I get? Well, I got about 33 to 34 miles. I think it was kind of sitting somewhere in between the two. I don't remember what 33 point something miles is what it came out to be. But keep in mind that I only rode it to the 12% level. And I was able to get the same amount of pep out of it too, even at 12% left on the battery. So I've noticed that on some of the other bikes that if you get down in battery power, your bike doesn't move as quickly. All right, it's kind of more sluggish because your voltage is lower now. I didn't notice that as much with the Magicycle, even though it was down to almost a 12% level. When I hit the throttle, I could get the same feel of power assist in terms of the torque and everything. So I was rather impressed with the fact that I can count on this battery, even though the amount of battery usage had dropped that far down, the 12% level. So I still could have gone further if I wanted to, but I didn't want to risk the battery. I would say I would add at least 2 more miles to that range that I gave you. So if I had to make a big estimate of guess, I'd say about 35 to 36 miles on a 250-pound rider. That's pretty good. That's pretty good out of one battery. Now, my hope is one day I would like to see a second battery on this bike. I'd like to be able to take you guys further with the bike. With only one battery, I can only go, let's say 33, 34 miles to feel comfortable. Okay, so that means I could only go a certain distance one way and then the same amount of distance getting back. So my range to get further away from my starting point is more limited on a single battery. I'm used to 2 batteries, quite frankly. That's what I did with my Rad Rover. I replaced the battery with a 52 volt 20 amp hour battery and then bought a second 20 amp hour battery. So I ride 40 amp hours on that battery, on that bike using 2 batteries. So I can go quite a distance, and that's what I use to go distance. One day I would like to be able to get that second Magicycle battery so I can take you guys with the Magicycle to a little bit of distance. Now that would be nice, okay? Down the road, okay? But as far as with the stock battery, single battery, I was impressed. I got decent range out of a single battery. And I feel comfortable that if I rode it harder, if I was going faster the way I normally ride, go a little bit faster, hit that throttle harder, go up those hills and everything, the mileage would probably drop at that point. But that would happen pretty much with all batteries, right? So yeah, I'm impressed with it. And as far as will I be keeping this bike, because people have asked me that as well. Yeah, it's not going to be a review bike I use one time and then I'm selling it. All right, I'm keeping the bike. Yeah, I like it. So it'll be the bike that I will take around my general area, in this general area. And then if I go distance, I'll take the other bike because I have 2 batteries on there. Okay. Anyways, I hope you like this review. If this has been helpful for you, go ahead and use the discount code RUSS100 to get a single bike. Or if you need 2 bikes, RUSS200, save $200 then, okay? But remember to do it this way. You need to use the link in my description to get to Magicycle. Don't just go right to Magicycle and put the money codes in there, okay? Go through the link. That's how I get credit. Go through the link that's in the description and then put in your RUSS100 or RUSS200 code to get your discounts. All right. Anyways, stay tuned because they'll be coming up. Magicycle has told me that they are going to give me a hydraulic brake so I can modify the brakes. And by the way, these Tektro brakes that I have on the Magicycle now are very good. I have not had any problems with them. I'm stopping perfectly with these brakes. But they know that I wanted to try the hydraulic brakes, and so they said that we're going to send it to you. So thank you, Magicycle. I'll have a full hydraulic brake system on there. And I'll probably do a video too, show you how I installed it, and then we'll see how well it actually performs. These are Tektro hydraulic brakes that they're sending me. And then they've also told me that they're going to be sending me a different type of light that can mount on my handlebar. And I believe that's like 1,000 lumen light. So yeah, it'll be the brightest light I have. So thank you, Magicycle. Yeah, I appreciate it. I use it basically for daytime riding. I don't really ride in the evening, but I turn it on during the daytime for visibility, so cars can see me as I approach, and they blink. So that's very helpful. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Definitely subscribe. I'll talk to you guys next time.